Play on Ultra
Welcome,
Podcast. This is
everybody.
episode 188. Hello, hello.
87. I thought it was 187. Is it
180.
188 or 1?
Previous one was 187. Stop letting this be.
I heard you say 187 as well, and then you said 188 just now. I was like, wait a second, it's not. You didn't say the same thing.
We're recording this at an awkward time.
Our bodies aren't used to recording at this time.
Yep. So, can you see this big guy at the back here?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's very big.
He's a very big guy. Yeah, and he's holding a really small guy too, threatening. He's like 19 inches or some shit. It's like huge.
Oh my
Holy.
gosh, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and he transforms into a base. It's so cool. I like transforming robots. So yes, this is episode 188 of the playonultra podcast, where we talk about stuff.
Yeah, we talk about stuff.
Stuff.
I have new hair.
Very
I just got my
nice.
hair done today.
It seems longer too. Like it literally seems like you got new hair. I mean, I'm sure it's not, but like normally it's
that's
pulled back.
funny. Yeah, it probably is just normally pulled back, and my hair is growing pretty fast, so I probably just haven't like.
Honest, whatever you did with like the waves, it adds so much texture, dimension, kind of.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I wish my
I didn't have her style because my hair is naturally straight, and I didn't
Yeah.
Because I didn't have anything. Super,
I understand the
super-
pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just had the stylist just do a little bit here, because normally I would have done the whole head, but I was like, I'm not like going like I'm on here, but I'm like I went out in public. Someone said I should just walk down Myers and just like strip my stuff. Myers is a store in Michigan. It's like a grocery store, and just like walk around. But yeah, I got this because I'm having my redo wedding next weekend, so ta-da!
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, so decided to do something nuts. I've never had this much color or bleach in my head before, so it's gonna be a process.
Very nice. How long does the styling last for? A day or two?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
okay.
So the styling itself is just for a day or two. Like, I mean, I'm getting it restyled for the wedding, so that part's whatever. It's more of how long does it stay like this clean, and I was told.
Is
that
it
I
a
should wash
perm? No.
No.
Hair dryer and comb?
Yeah, hair dry like curling iron kind of.
Curling
thing.
iron. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, so like a perm is like you're actually changing how your hair falls, like not permanently, but like it lasts for a really long time.
I've had
I
a perm.
I would never perm this because that would be nuts. Like if you do a perm, like you're trying to change the structural integrity of your hair. This is just styling. So yeah, nothing permanent.
Okay.
Also, perms are scary.
Yeah, I did a perm when I was like 20 years old or something. Just like waves. Yeah. I had longer hair back then.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have pretty long hair now, but I don't know, like my maximum length was longer back then for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if that's a thing or... Oh yeah, whatever. This is the Play on Ultra podcast where we talk about hair, I guess.
I'm just gonna move a little closer because the waves on my thing are very small.
Okay.
I don't know if I should edit now or just let it go, but
Yeah.
whatever.
The pain of, not having a proper recording room.
I know. So sorry if I'm very.
Have you all heard about what Netflix is doing?
Are we talking about the Chappelle thing?
Yeah, we're talking about the Chappelle thing.
I haven't heard I heard about the Chappelle thing. I didn't hear what Netflix is doing.
So, the Chappelle thing was every time he has a special, he makes like jokes against trans people. That's his thing now, I guess.
It's recent. It's this recent thing.
It's his recent thing.
Well,
Yeah.
He's had like
Recent
2 or
in the
3
last, like,
specials,
2 or
I
3
think.
he's had previous
Yes,
things
yeah.
that riled the community, but this was him just like being very explicit in his.
Oh,
Yes.
is it? So it's different?
Oh yeah. So
These new
is-
ones
I
do
didn't
jokes every
watch it.
special.
Yeah,
he
done-
makes trans
'cause
jokes
he-
every special, but is this
Yeah.
like worse?
This level, he said, "I'm Team Turf," and defended
okay.
J.K. Rowling. Yeah, like
Oh.
he really, yeah. And then he tried to pull the "I'm friends with a trans person who passed away," and she like I actually didn't want to watch it, so this is based on
Yeah, I
what
didn't
I'm reading.
watch
I
it.
have not watched the
but-
newest one.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them because I mean what I mean by it's new, I mean in the last 2 to 3 specials on Netflix. I not as opposed to like his whole career. That's what I meant by new. Like this, but no, this is not the first special where this has been a problem. It's just before it was like they'd be the butt of jokes, but they were still kind of subtle enough where people would kind of point at trans people complaining and be like, "You're being too, whatever." And then
it was still like a joke. Like you could be like, "Oh, he's saying that for the joke."
Punchline
Here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think people were making this excuse, but it could be, he's just making it. He's only saying this for the joke. It's not like a thing he actually believes. He doesn't hate trans people. But here, it's there's not really any way to look at it other than that.
It's not joking. Like it's just.
I have an agenda, and this is what it is. That's why I'm saying the things I say.
I'm gonna be up here and just talk instead of being a comedian. Like, it's gotten really bad. And yeah, I guess there's a whole thing, I don't really know the context, but I guess a friend of his who is trans passed away like a few years ago or something, or maybe many years ago. I didn't know the person. And so basically he tried to pull the whole, like, she agrees with me, she thinks that I'm funny, and it's like, you just said you're team turf. Like, what are you? You can't, no.
And it's not like she can say anything now. She's dead.
Exactly. She's dead. Yeah, exactly. So... But yeah, Netflix has given just the greatest response, which is sarcasm.
Sarcasm towards people complaining?
Netflix suspended a trans employee?
Yes. Yep.
Right?
An employee of Netflix who is trans, not just trans, is black and trans.
Okay. So there's two things, actually.
Yep.
The latest one that I saw is a black pregnant woman got fired because she tried to get allies and trans people to do a walkout.
Oh, okay.
I just saw that this morning. Okay.
That rings
maybe.
a
I don't know, because
bell.
I thought it was a black trans person who was pregnant, but I also didn't know what trans, like, because in my mind that must mean trans male. But
Okay, so...
But maybe it's two different people. I don't know.
Okay. Could be two different people, or it could be like the same person got suspended and then tried to get a walkout and then got fired.
Right, yeah.
They're using they leaked confidential something, but we all know that's not really the reason.
It's not really. So it's
Netflix.
It's bad. It's not good. Not.
I've never given them my money, so that's like. That's okay.
It's just too bad, and unfortunately, we know. I mean, the reason this is that Chappelle brings in a lot of revenue for them.
Chappelle is like big.
He's huge.
He's a very talented wordsmith, comic crafter, word joke maker.
And he had a comeback, right? He was out of the game for a while for personal, kind of.
Like it wasn't like not like he came back from falling out of favor. Like he just took a break, like a hiatus, like it's a self-chosen break, basically. Well, not chosen, but
yeah. So, and I think what's terribly ironic, and I'm trying to say this as delicately as possible because I am white, is that the thing that he part of the reason he took that hiatus is now the thing he's basically rallying against trans people for. So part of the thing with his hiatus, and this wasn't the only reason, but he did come out and say some years ago that he was kind of realizing that a lot of his jokes, he made a lot of racial jokes, but he was like, okay, how much of this though is white people just laughing at me, for making jokes about being black, which is very fair. And so he
has interesting interviews where like in the Chappelle show he would do like a black character who's like a drug addict or something, they're the butt of the joke, like they're stupid or something, and he'd have like white supremacists like, I love that character you do, it's so true. It's like, that wasn't the point of the bit.
Exactly. And
it
so
was
now
satire or whatever.
It was a satire, an attempt at other conversations, and then so he comes here. And apparently, I read a New York Times opinion article that I'm actually grateful I read because it did do a dive onto the things he did right. And I think it helps to just put into context, but does not excuse him. So he talks about, apparently on the show, about white LGBTQ, like whitewashing of LGBTQ issues, which is true, and stuff like that. And some of the other things connected with misogyny. But he basically acts as if black people can't be trans, from what I understand. It's this, he really, from what I understand, he puts this weird mentality of like, it's trans people, like we shouldn't do trans people versus black people, or like, hey, trans people, stop coming after
There's not
us.
enough rights to go around. The trans people are hogging all the rights.
Kind of, like it's just, or at least,
Sort of, I mean, it's kind of his point. His point is like efforts to further the trans agenda by black people would better be spent furthering the black agenda. I mean,
right.
not that I agree it's like a whole agenda, but you know what I mean, like fighting for rights
Yes.
for these two different parties.
Right. And, and he does have a point insofar as LGBTQ rights have probably progressed faster in some ways than rights for people of color. Which is
in the last
wrong.
few years kind of thing.
Yeah,
you mean, right?
yeah, and which isn't wrong.
Well,
and I think that it would be... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just, well, yeah, because the I think the trans movement is younger than the black rights movement, and it has moved very quickly.
How much of that is like the trans movement is not saying that trans people they never existed before this, but like it's like really coming to the forefront of things, and now we have social media and all that shit, and honestly a lot of people's worldviews are shaped by what they see on social media, and you choose to follow whoever you want on social media, and you're kind of shaped. It's like this weird circle where social media shapes what you see, but you also choose what you see on social media, so it has this like weird looping effect.
That's the bubble effect, yeah.
Yeah, the bubble
and
effect,
But what's also kind of what's a little sad is that I think if Chappelle had done a little more research, the original Pride movement was started by a black trans woman.
Are you talking about
in the United States? In the United States, at least.
No, are you talking about the riots?
Stonewall. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know it was started by like trans people. I didn't know it was by black trans people.
Yeah, by a black the famous face, and I'm so sorry I forgot her name. I could find it, but she is credited as pretty much starting the original Stonewall riots, and she was a black trans woman. So that's, I think, what's hard about this is, and actually, like I said, the whole idea of LGBTQ being whitewashed is very real, because a lot of early on riots with LGBTQ were often people of color. And it was kind of once white people came out that, honestly, it started getting more accepted. So there is things to talk about here with that, and to make light, to really point out and satirize. The problem is he just seems to not think that that's a thing, and so instead he sees it as a trans thing, as just a white people thing. I think, I don't know, he could be not saying that, but that's certainly what it feels.
I mean, I think his point is that the trans movement has moved faster, not because of social media, but because it involves white people.
Yeah. And
people listen to white people more, which is, I think, an oversimplification and ignores a lot of other things. I don't think it's a completely false thing to say. There's probably some merit to that, maybe. I don't really know, but it's overly reductionist at the least.
It's very overly reductionist, and also it really doesn't help that Chappelle is basically a rich guy at this point, and
he makes jokes about that.
And wealth is the overarching issue when it comes to privilege. Yes, white people are often wealthier, but at a certain point when you're at a wealth, it's so much of that privilege just takes over. And some of his friends that he supports who are also wealthy, and they are also black, but are also known for having made homophobic remarks. So, and the people he's protecting.
Are the comedians or?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Hart was an example, but there was another guy too who was a little bit. Yeah. I actually don't even hate Kevin Hart, but he did make homophobic remarks.
Oh my god, he's so fucking annoying at this moment.
Well, he's
become so annoying.
He's been like selling like some weird like crypto or something, right? He was selling like a pyramid scheme.
Must be NFT.
He was promoting something like that. Yeah. I don't remember what it was.
Everyone's doing NFTs.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm going on a side tangent. I'm so mad because NFTs like went up in popularity, and I follow a lot of artists, so there's been a lot of discourse about it. And thankfully, all the artists I follow are anti-NFTs, because I'd have to unfollow them otherwise. That's how I learned about this. And so it went up, and it seemed it did for a while because people realized it's basically a scam. But then it like shot up in popularity again by like companies and other wealthy people. I'm like, stop.
There's literally somebody who just scammed. Like they had a NFT thing and they took like 2.7 mil, and then now the company cannot be found anymore or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to scam people.
I don't know what caused the recent surge, because I heard of NFTs once, like a year ago, when the creator of Castle Doctrine added them to his game. But then I didn't hear about them at all since then, or from anybody else. I don't know why they're suddenly a thing again.
I've seen a resurgence. What's weird is it's a resurgence among furry community too, which is bizarre.
That's hilarious.
What's
You know what they say, right? When porn adopts a new technology.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they say.
Yep.
So the furry thing though is especially funny. There's this weird, and I can't explain it to you because I'm not in the furry community, but I guess there's this thing that's come out where like you basically pay to get an avatar that's an NFT of like your furry, and they have all of these options. It's meant to be like a character customization thing or something. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a bit of a joke in the art community that like furry artists are incredible. Like they're highly detailed, very well done art. Like you may not like furry art, but like you can appreciate the quality.
Why haven't I seen any of this? All the furry art I've seen has been very basic and cartoony. Not bad, but not deep. I haven't seen this.
I don't look for it, but like it's more of if you're a true furry with a lot of money.
Because you're not a true furry for.
I guess I'm not that thing. I'm at least one of those things I'm not. Either which one is it? Am I not a furry? Am I not rich?
Exactly.
Can't be both.
But like, I mean, well, think of the costumes that some of them wear. Highly detailed things that they have to make.
That's true.
It's a really expensive.
Very expensive. And just,
is it? Yeah. Is the word hobby or fetish? Like, I'm not sure which one to use.
It's a lifestyle, man.
Okay, I mean, lifestyle. Whatever, man.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. I mean, some, if you really talk to
as
them,
long as they don't push it as a sexuality, that's fine.
I know, that's the hard
Oh
one.
my god, it's a
pretty big if.
I'm back in the dating game, and I see way too many people put in sapiosexual. Oh my god, I fucking hate that word.
Oh,
I don't know what that means.
Sapiosexual
means attracted to intelligence.
Yeah, I'm attracted to intelligence.
Oh, okay.
I'm not attracted to your giant penis or your rock hard abs, which is fine. Some people do, like I do, like, you know.
But if you label yourself that way, it sends a flag, a signal.
It's a flag. It signals a lot of other things, and
and
it's you. Most of the time, it's just like, you know, I'm a sapiosexual. I'll be like, but there were a couple that that it was quite clearly trying to put sapiosexual into the LGBTQ, and I'm like, no,
so, question,
bruh.
If you were honest, truly are a sapiosexual, should that necessarily
like honest
mean
true the definition?
Yeah, not just like doing it for clout or whatever, or to be cool.
Right.
If you were a sapiosexual, should that mean that you're also bisexual or pansexual?
In some ways,
or can you be both? Could you be straight and because like your brain? It doesn't matter what gender you are. I only care about the brain.
If it's because as far as I understand, that word was not created in that sense. It was just a bunch of people using it as like we see past looks kind of thing.
Yeah. It sounds like somebody from
but it's not the
Mensa
same
made it
as like yeah, but it's not the same as like
Yeah.
asexual or aromantic.
Right.
Where, you know what I mean?
I was gonna say, like, if you're on the ace spectrum, that is one thing. Because I actually have started kind of coming out as both pan and demisexual a little bit. And I kind of the demi part, I'm still kind of trying to rectify.
Demi means like half ace.
Kind of. So demi basically, and it's gonna sound stupid at first.
You're attracted to anybody emotionally.
Basically, I need to have what I like to describe it as is there needs to be some kind of an emotional connection before I even think about sex with somebody. So and then, you know, when I first heard it, it was like, okay, are you trying to downgrade sex as being this, like, people just, you know, have sex whenever, just one night stands, which some people do, but a lot of people do want a connection first. But no, like, it is different and frustrating. I'll give you an example that I just had a realization of like a week ago as an example of demi. So when I was in high school, I never understood how two high schoolers could meet each other and like 2 weeks later decide they wanted to date. That made no sense to me. For me, I was more like, well, I gotta know you for like a year, and then maybe we'll talk about dating, which is what happened to me. Like there was this guy that I was friends with for like most of the school year, and then we got together. But that's like, I think, a good example of how demi really looks. It just takes a while to grow into it. But yeah, like, so to speak on that, if you want to say, like, listen, I'm not super attracted to, I could be attracted to many different genders. Yep, we have a word for that. Okay, well, I'm not, I don't feel sexual attraction really immediately. We've got a word for that. I'm attracted to your IQ. Okay, I can get those test results, I guess.
That's such a construct.
Yeah. And it's very much skewed towards a certain...
Yeah.
That's just, it's like
I
very
had to take an IQ
Western...
test for a job interview once.
Jesus.
And I crushed it,
Fuck.
but I'm like, I'm not working for a place that makes me take an IQ test. That's stupid.
No.
Yeah, I had to take a personality test, one of those, like, expensively
Those,
made...
the 4-letter ones.
Yeah, one of those, like, made specifically for professional settings. And I'm like,
oh my God,
if you're a company
worst.
that believes in this kind of thing, I'm not really sure.
I like feeling like a person. Thanks for reducing me to, like, 4 letters. Like, that completely described my entire existence now. I really feel valued and seen.
Yeah. My company, I will admit, did something similar, but to be fair, it was after I was hired. It was more of a just kind of knowing, like,
getting to know you better kind of thing.
Yeah, know you better in supervisor roles. Like, to
I
figure
do the
out
same
who maybe
thing.
you should have a supervisor.
They made me buy a book. I was able to expense it, but they made me buy a $20 book, and I haven't started it yet. But before you read the book, the first chapter is like, take this personality quiz to, like, figure out what, like, it's not even letters. It's almost like D&D names, like, you're an artificer, or you're a soothsayer.
That sounds familiar.
These weird
That sounds
fancy
familiar.
names. It's like, this is this,
Yeah.
like, how is this worth company time? I guess your Bay Area hippie company, whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple different types. Enneagram is usually associated with numbers. The popular one that anybody can do for free is the what's it called? The Myers-Briggs.
INTJ.
Oh my God. Is that the ENTB ABCD? Yeah. Oh my God.
That's
I
what
see
I
that
hear a
on I see that on profiles, and I'm like, did you know it was just created randomly by a mother-daughter somewhere in the US based on no science at all?
Yeah. It's fun as a personality test, but I have a friend who takes it really to heart, and I used to support it back when I was...
My favorite personality test is when they tell me I'm a badger or something. Or like I'm a walrus.
That's awesome.
I got a walrus before. I'm a walrus. That's
pretty cool. I want to be a walrus.
I remember back when Harry Potter was still okay. I took the official Patronus test or whatever, and I got salmon.
Wow.
The description was okay. Yeah, the description wasn't bad actually, but yeah, I'm like, who wants to be a salmon?
My friend who's the most into personality tests, I'll give you one guess as to what you think they were super into before being into personality tests.
Zodiacs. No, that.
Yes, exactly. Horoscopes.
Yes, okay. Horoscopes. No zodiacs.
Same thing. I mean, same thing.
Same fucking thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing.
They believe magic. They believe in magic. They believe David Copperfield can actually make the Statue of Liberty disappear.
There are only 12 kinds of people.
I mean, when I was a kid and I watched that David Copperfield special and he made the Statue of Liberty disappear, my mind was blown. But I was like 7 years old or something.
I saw David Copperfield live, actually.
He's really good.
That's cool.
Right?
He's really
I've heard
good.
he's
really
currently
good.
in Vegas. I've heard his show is
Yes.
super worth going to because it's kind of
Yeah.
weird. He's like an alien
It's
puppet
weird.
the whole time that makes like
Yeah,
fart
yeah,
jokes.
yeah.
Like it just sounds weird.
It's super weird. It's definitely an experience, let's put it that way. It's worth seeing once.
Did you go to
I
the
probably-
Vegas show?
Yeah, I went to the Vegas show.
Nice.
My
I haven't.
wasn't my wife at the time, but my wife, we happened to take a trip out in Vegas. She actually had to for work, and we decided to make it like a weekend trip. And we paid ahead of time for various shows. And David Copperfield wasn't one of them, because I think at the time actually there weren't any tickets. But we paid for a magic show. I think his name is Matt or something. He's like one of the oldest running shows and magic shows in Vegas.
Did
He's
y'all
more of
have
a-
like what's like that dragon guy? What's his name? Oh, he's like in a
Dragon?
dragon suit and he does magic and make jokes or something.
No, I don't think it was that.
He was on one of those like talent shows and he was really
Maybe.
good.
He was like King Mac or something.
Okay.
Matt King or something. He basically, it's more of like a family-friendly matinee show, but he does a little side jokes for the
Basically,
adults
all
kind of
these
thing.
shows are like you go to like a giant resort or hotel and they have all of them
Yeah.
have their own like lineup, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Yep. And so we got them, and then basically my because I told my wife, I was like, my dream is always to see David Copperfield, because kind of like you, like I didn't really necessarily see
I grew up watching him. It would be pretty cool to
Magic
actually watch him live. Yeah.
And it just happened to be that there were last minute tickets on sale, and so we got that. So I got to see that, and then I got to see Penn and Teller, which was also really cool.
Nice.
Nice.
So 3 very different magic shows, but definitely all worth seeing at least once.
No musicals or any singing. Celine Dion,
No.
Barbara Streisand, are they still live?
No,
Blue Man Group?
Those tickets were super hard to get, and they were pretty expensive. Because I would have gone to, I mean, she's not going to probably do any shows any longer, which is probably good, but I would have seen Britney Spears. But I don't think she had any.
Oh, is she in Vegas?
She was, yeah. She was in Vegas
She's getting that thing removed, right?
Yeah, she's getting the conservatorship.
Yeah.
She no
How
longer
is
has
that legal? I
I can tell you how it's legal, because I actually work with kids that sometimes do need it. What's nuts about this?
But why don't they have like an age limit or whatever?
Well, it's that here's the.
I mean, that's
crazy
good that they
part.
don't.
Here's the problem. It's not necessarily that they need an age limit. I mean, quite frankly, her father just pays enough for lawyers to kind of sway judges. Because how it works is that
The determining of what if you need it or not.
Yeah. Basically, you have to go in front of a court, and you have to usually get, they usually request paperwork from like psychologists and stuff. So I used to work with kids with intellectual disabilities. So some of them, they need a guardian. Maybe not forever, but they do need a guardian like past 18.
If you're a minor, do you need a conservatorship? A lot of the decisions are by parents, right?
No. So when you're a minor, it's essentially your parents are a conservatorship. This is
Pre-emancipation.
Oh, so you're talking about your clients who passed.
I'm talking about my clients turning 18. Yeah, I'm talking about my clients who are going to turn 18, and because once they turn 18, that's the crazy part. And I haven't looked up Britney Spears' history. Usually, it's harder to get a conservatorship past 18, but maybe for her, because of the mental breakdown, they were able to argue it. But with my kids, it's like you want to try to get it before 18, because it's kind of harder to get after that. And with my kids, the court usually is look for testimony, and they look for, like a report by a psychologist that says, hey, due to these and these and these factors, this person would not be able to, if their parents died tomorrow and they were on their own, it would not be good.
Let me rephrase the question then. How can this be not abused?
So that's the thing, is that normally in smaller courts, I think you have to every year, I could be wrong about this, but I think every year you have to like re-up the
Yeah, got to prove it.
And so in my opinion, what's probably happening is they have a court with a judge that knows the situation that daddy paid for.
So like same judge kind of thing.
They paid for, because I think there's usually like, if depending on like the county, you're probably going to get the same couple of judges over and over again. Because I don't think it's just every judge does this kind of thing. I think they probably get the same judge over and over again. They get the same lawyer over and over again. And Brittany probably for a very long time never fought it, because she was probably convinced she needed one. And so her dad was just, so they probably during the re-upping would be like, hey, this is still going on. We still want to do this. And I bet Brittany never fought back. Or if she did, it was very quickly squashed and then keeps going. I think she just finally found her voice and found the strength, and probably found a really freaking good lawyer who she could finally fight back with. But yeah, it can be abused. That's the problem. It's just, I think the reason it's so, because like with my clients, in some ways, it's really hard to abuse because I work with poorer people. But when you're probably working with rich celebrities that don't, when you're working with judges who don't really want to, because you're probably not going to get a judge that's like, you've had Britney Spears in a conservatorship for 10 years, huh? Well, I mean, why should we change anything this time? You know what I mean? So there is that reality of that.
There must be a good reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's been for 10 years, right? Or however long she was in it, I mean, we'll just re-up this, right? It's one of the scary things, and unfortunately this is, I think, due to a lot of factors of overwork and lack of oversight, but many things that if they get legally done, once, it's just a lot easier to re-up it than it is to question it. So.
That's why it's easy. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. You know more than me, but like it's easy to get committed to an institution, and it's hard to get out.
Yes. Yeah. These days, I would say it's easier to get out because they usually have a cycle.
I'm sure there's been improvements.
But yeah. But but in some ways, I mean, just in general, like it is harder to like get out of the cycle. That's for sure.
So yeah.
That was the weirdest stream of consciousness we ever did.
Really?
And that's our time. I'm joking.
we started with Netflix and we got to Britney Spears. I think it's pretty impressive.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
One last thing about Dave Chappelle. Part of the reason I didn't watch the new special as soon as it dropped is because like his closing statement, his closing joke of the previous special already rubbed me the wrong way, where he's talking about how when his wife's asleep, he likes to put her feet together and like have sex with her feet because feet aren't rape, which is super not true. Which is not true. It's not. It's still rape. It's not. I mean, maybe it's a different level of rape, but still sexual abuse. Of like, if someone didn't want you to have sex with their feet and you did, that's really wrong.
That's. Oh my gosh! I never heard about that.
It wasn't as big a splash because it was like, oh, he's joking. It's a funny joke. It's not something he really thinks. He doesn't. He wouldn't. If he did have sex with feet, he wouldn't make a joke about it, right? It's crazy. But it's like,
is he losing his mind? Like, he used to make really smart jokes. Back in like,
He still does.
He still does. I know. I mean, he's still smart. He knows what he's doing. That's for sure.
Well, I think, and this is a bigger
which makes it worse. Okay.
Yeah, there's a bigger issue with him. It's a bigger issue with comedians, which is this idea that times have changed, and the kind of jokes you could make 10, 20 years ago, even 30 years ago in some cases, you just can't make anymore. Like, I'm sorry, you can't really make a good rape joke. Not really. Like the only, like, the one, I think it was like John Mulaney that made one that was okay. And it was the whole, like, oh, I better run faster to let her know that, that whole thing. I forget it was John Mulaney or somebody else.
Also, before I forget to interrupt, there's a Netflix special called Nate, a one-man show. It's very weird, but I think it's very thought-provoking if you watch the whole thing. It's a clown show, not a stand-up comic show, but it's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
You're into some weird stuff, folk. Maybe you want to look into that furry thing.
It's called Nate, a one-man show, because it's comedian Natalie Palamides in her masculine character Nate. So the whole show, she's actually topless, but she's wearing like fake chest hair the whole time, and she like does stuff like, "Hey, anyone want to fight me?" And like she gets someone from the audience to like wrestle her like at one point. Like it's weird, but it's pretty funny. And the end is just the best part. The end is why I recommend it. It's very like, oh, holy shit, that's a really good point. And then she's like, I'm just joking. You're like, no, but that was a good point.
Got it. Yeah. Ugh. That's good. I need that palate cleanser because I can't believe no one mentioned me that Dave Chappelle made an outdated rape joke. But that's not what I mean. Is like these comedians get so mad when you're like, hey, we can't joke about this anymore. Well, it's just comedy. Don't get so offended. And at this point, it's like they're all about like, you can't cancel me. And I'm like, it's not even about canceling, dude. We're not going to pay to see you anymore. Which is
there are two very big problems. Not like problems like it's like impossible to know if the joke you're making will age well. Yeah. Like it's just very hard to do. And then two, like you're also incentivized and rewarded, and not necessarily badly, to be kind of pushing the envelope as a comic. And so those two things go like together. The danger zone is very big. The line is very narrow on how to walk that, and it's hard to do right.
Absolutely. And the thing is like I'm not one of those people that gets mad at comedians who make certain outdated jokes back in like the 2000s and 90s, and then but if they change their comedy, like to me that is just it was wrong then and maybe they shouldn't do it. But if they change now, like to be honest with you, I see that as okay, they're changing their routine, they're getting with the times, really. Which is the thing, is that's kind of what all jobs have to do. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry whoever directed
it's like
Godfather.
It's as if these comedians were complaining about not being able to like slap the secretary's butt as she walked by anymore. It's like, you can't do it. What is an office coming to? This is a vital part of my job. It's like, no, dude, like.
Yeah.
And it's also like they make all these jokes because they can, but people can also criticize you. It's just kind of part of it.
That's just how it is. Yeah, I agree that like hecklers are stressful, but like you made a joke.
And we're not even talking about hecklers. We're talking about after the show, after the fact,
Right.
people talking about it. You know, it's just
Not playing devil's advocate, but slightly putting myself on the other side. As like an old man, like I don't understand what the youth think is funny anymore. Like looking at TikTok, like last week, someone was telling me how like the biggest thing, the new trend on TikTok is lip syncing to like other stand-up comics bits.
I've seen
And
those.
it's just like that's the
And
most
the lip-syncing-
creatively zero thing I've heard in my life. How
You know-
are
you know
people
what's the
watching this
worst
and
thing?
liking it? They can't even say the words themselves. There's lip syncing to somebody else telling a joke, and people love it. I'm like, I don't understand what's
And
popular.
the problem, the biggest problem is the lip syncing sucks.
I'm sure it's terrible. It's just creatively bankrupt. It makes me sad. It's so sad.
That I will say, I think I can explain why that might be. And I'm not to put my tinfoil hat on it, but with social media and technology being just faster and faster than ever, and content making want to be faster than ever, people just want to consume a lot of shit these days. They don't want to wait forever to get something.
That's why nobody watches
what I
this.
think.
That's the only reason.
When are they going to talk about video games?
The only reason,
Deal with
obviously.
Oh man, I don't know. I kind of like these conversations better.
I do too.
But what I just mean is like, there's just so much more. People just want faster things, and so like actually, I'll take the U.S. versus the U.K. for example. Back when I used to watch like Sherlock, which was the UK show, I remember being very confused why they had like 5 episodes, 90 minutes long, and it took several years to make them. I was like, wow, why is that? And then I found out, and it's very topical right now because of the impending walkout by the people that work in
Netflix,
kind of backstage and stuff. Like not just Netflix, but
there's all of Hollywood. Like
kind
wait,
of Hollywood,
what?
Which
What's happening?
yes, there's a. So okay, sorry. So there's the walkout
another
hasn't
writer
happened
strike.
yet.
I don't think it's happening. Not writers per se, specifically.
Oh.
No,
Like-
it's a strike though. Like it's about to happen. It could happen. It's probably going to happen. But it's
What triggered
the
it?
People. I think it
don't
was
know.
just the announcement of like the poor working conditions of people like this.
Oh.
And enough people kind of were like, "Oh, this is a universal thing."
I
And
did
then
not
they-
hear this at all. How did I miss this?
I'm surprised actually.
You'll
I guess
hear
I'm
about
not
it when
sure.
it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, when there's an actual strike, you'll hear about. Right now, they're, like, getting really close to striking. And they should. Like, I didn't know how terrible the working conditions are. Like, there's a noted thing in the industry where you work till, like, 9 o'clock on Fridays and then get up early, like, at 6 on Saturdays and work again. Like, apparently that's just a note. It just stuff like that. Like, working without breaks for a full day, stuff like that. So they're going to hopefully go on strike soon. So I just say that to, oh God, what was I talking about before?
You're talking about BBC.
BBC. So, yeah, thank you. So, like, I was seeing how the BBC would take so long for episodes. I was like, wow, that's crazy. They take forever to get a new season. You know, in the United States, like, you know, maybe a year and it'd be done. And I realized, oh, we have bad working conditions here.
Okay.
For things like that. But we love it. We want our new episode every week.
We
right?
get annoyed when we have to
Dairy
wait
Girls.
a year for a new season.
Yeah.
I mean, not we as in, I'm not American,
I mean,
but like, you know.
It didn't always
but
used to be that way. Like Columbo came out that way. Columbo was like, hey, you'll get a couple of our 2-hour-long episodes a year.
Yep.
We'll just feel like making a few, and we'll group them into seasons arbitrarily.
Yeah, but the thing is in the United States, our population demands more and more and more, faster, and companies figure out how to meet that, because if you can meet it, then you can get a lot of money out of it, and then...
Y'all need some better labor laws, man. Like, it's just...
it's so
Kellogg's
bad.
employees are striking right now. You guys
They
hear that?
are.
Or they're about to.
Yep.
So
Kellogg's
stock up on
strike.
cereal.
Yeah, I know. I mean, lots of actually, it's been really interesting. I think this has been planned for some time, because lots of companies, Nabisco was on strike.
Is Nabisco the Oreos one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oreos one.
That's the one I was
And
thinking
then there
of.
was Yep, there's another company I think before that also was on strike. It's actually, they're being very tactical about this because they do it like one at a time. They don't do it all at once because they know that consumers will have a harder time with that. Although there are questions whether consumers should actually participate in the strike. There is actually a reason to almost overbuy some of those things because then the workers aren't there to produce it, and then the company feels more strained to meet their demands. But,
That's
you know,
funny.
neither here nor there. You know, I just am like, you do what's right for you, and I support the strike workers, you know, that kind of thing. And I probably should donate money, but I haven't. Like, that's pretty much the better way to donate money so they can survive while they're on strike. But yeah, this has, I think, been planned for a while because, like, company by company, like, they'll have their strike and then it stops and then a new one goes on strike. So it's interesting. I think there's been some efforts for it, which I hope is a good thing. But I also know some of those companies that went on strike. Frito-Lay, I think that was the other one. Frito-Lay and Nabisco. I'm not actually sure if they really got what they were looking for. It looks like they were like, okay, it seemed very placating, but I haven't actually looked into it. So, I mean, now is the time when things with COVID are straining.
I also remember hearing that there might be a strike with because of how bad the like shipping, like stevedores and anybody involved like in global supply line stuff is right now.
Interesting. Okay.
It's already, you know, it's struggling right now, but I heard also a strike was maybe a thing that could happen to, you know, make it worse, which is, I mean, good strike if you need to, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. I'm glad it'll hopefully be after my wedding because then I'm not trying to ship things in one day shipping. But
That's a good point.
Mean, yeah. I mean, you should. It is one of those things where I'm like, ugh, bad timing, but also, yeah, you guys should probably strike.
I'm personally deeply affected by the global supply line. I've been waiting for some miniatures that are supposed to come out like a month ago, and they haven't been up for pre-order yet even. I don't know how I live.
How are you still alive?
I know, right?
It's okay. I ordered a bunch of the other ones I could pre-order, so I've been working through those.
Exactly.
Just gotta make them last.
Exactly. Gotta make them last till like...
Oh, as in like open one a week kind of thing?
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of what I've been doing. Because
what I do.
There were bigger kits.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, world has been interesting. I don't know if you probably haven't heard of this, Fo, but maybe... Sorry. I don't think you've heard of this, Char, but maybe you heard of this, Fo. So, in the United States, at least, I'm just explaining this for our audience and in case Char doesn't know, in the United States, there's been a lot of business owners that have been like, nobody wants to work anymore because the government
I've seen a lot of that.
Stay home, blah, 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 blah. So now the information has started trickling out. There's no like big news page because of course no news network's going to pick this up, but just people giving anecdotes. But it's starting to spread a bit of people being like, so yeah, I tried to apply for those jobs for people who said that like there's no one wants to work, and either they didn't call me back or when I would talk to them in the interview did not offer what was advertised. Like, if they advertise, like, full-time work at a certain amount, they'd be like, no, it's going to be part-time first, or stuff like that.
Or, like, you got to work your 6 months, and then you get the pay we talked about.
Exactly.
Very skeezy.
And most of them just don't even contact back. And so everyone's like, oh, what's going on here? And the theory right now is that those companies are just being mad and then hoping that pressure... It's actually really short-sighted and stupid. I can't believe they would think to do this, but maybe a lot of businesses in America are short-sighted and stupid. But the idea they're hoping is that if they don't like cave in, that eventually, I think they're like almost doing a game of chicken and hoping the government will stop, and then eventually people will come crawling back for their low wages again or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but we'll see. Hoping for a revolution.
Yeah.
Well, it's being weird. Very, very weird. I finished Final Fantasy 15. That's a video game, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
That is a video game.
Yeah. Wasn't a very good one, but it is a video game.
I've heard such like polarized views.
Oh yeah, it's either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah, my wife hated it, and several other people I know love it.
Can I ask? I know your wife is a big FF fan, like, right? Not just 14, right? Like previous ones too.
Yeah.
What about the ones that liked it?
She loves 8. That's her big one. She also really likes 9.
What about the people who liked FF15? Were they previous fans of like?
I feel like a lot of them would celebrate 7 and maybe 9.
Okay.
I feel like 9 everybody likes. And
Yeah,
10 maybe.
9 has gotten so much love in the past decade.
I feel like 9 is everyone's like favorite child. I would say that I don't know for sure, but I feel like those people, if they haven't played 7, they celebrate 7. One of those kind of weird things. And then I feel like there are people who also tend to like 10, but don't.
I mean, 10 is FF15 is just a weird game. It's just like you can see how like they lost time or money or both at the end.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you just go through corridors at the end, and which was a complaint. And when I played it, I was like, oh yeah, people complain about this. Now I see why.
Yeah.
So and the story was just weird. The characters are just not memorable, or like I didn't really care too much for them. And there's this weird like a time spoilers, I guess. There's a weird time skip thing.
Okay.
And they just added facial hair to them to make them look older.
Are you kidding me? Oh, that's so funny. I
mean, they did look a little bit older, but a lot of that is a facial hair. And I'm like, bruh, come on.
Oh, that's so funny. I didn't know that. I'm not gonna lie, like, I just don't have a lot of time for games at all. And when that came out, I especially was like,
I spent like 60-something, 70, almost 70 hours on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I enjoyed the middle. I really enjoyed the middle. But it's just, I don't know. I didn't like the mechanics. The combat was weird.
Yeah.
The story was just I don't know what the fuck is happening. The characters were all just like didn't make sense. The names all are fucking stupid. It's just I really.
I'm not gonna lie, and maybe someone's gonna call me misandrist, but like seeing it's just an old boys group really just kind of turned me off. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I know they're unique, but like. And then the only interesting female character I happen to know, I don't know the context, but I happen to know spoilers, dies. So, like, that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
I know she's not, like, part of the group or anything, but she's referenced a lot and seems very
Also, the voice acting was kind of there.
Oh, was it weird? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so many things weird with that game. I just wanted to finish it because it was on my list. And it's a Final Fantasy game, and it's just, one of those things that...
Yeah.
Being a fan who's played all the games, not all the games, but a lot of games. So it's just, it's just such an itch that I needed to scratch. But that's a video game that I finished, I guess. I
am interested in maybe trying out 16 only because Yoshi P is on it, who does 14 and I like 14. So I wouldn't be surprised if I end up just watching my wife play it and being like, I'll pass. I don't know what I'm going to do. But, that one interests me just because Yoshi P's on it. Origins, is that what it's called? Origins? Or whatever, the other one?
Oh, Stranger Project Origin, whatever. Chaos. Whatever. The Chaos Killing Simulator.
That one I'm really, like, about.
I kind of, I'm quite
fun.
I kind of want to know, like, if it's it's too expensive of a game just to buy, just to listen to the really cringy dialogue, but I kind of want to do that.
Okay, thank you. So cringy. When I first, so I watched the new thing that came out, and people, we sounded kind of excited, so I was like, okay, let's see what that's about. Oh, cool, we have actual female character. I don't know why she looks like an emaciated schoolgirl, but whatever. At least she'll get new armor, and she's part of the team. I don't know why she wasn't referenced before. Okay, let's see here. Oh, she joins later. Okay, whatever. Oh, wow. She actually has a legit interesting backstory. No spoiler, because they show this to you, but she was part of an original group of Warriors of Light who decided Chaos doesn't exist and decided that she wanted to become Chaos so that new Warriors of Light could maybe finally destroy Chaos in some weird metaphysical way. But now she's been kind of reborn a little bit, and she's going to join this new group.
So hold up.
Wow.
There is no evil, so she wanted to be the evil thing for people to kill so that people had something to do.
One thing I've noticed that's a trend with Final Fantasy games is this idea of evil's really hard to personify, so we're going to actually personify it and make an act of it. Like, It happened in Final Fantasy 11, the MMO, and they don't really do it in 14, but I've seen it before. So it's a trope I think they sometimes do, where it's like evil's too hard too hard to kill. We're gonna literally personify it, like they tell you in the dialogue. That's what they're literally gonna do, so that you can kill it.
Yeah, I mean, like FF15, they kept talking about this darkness like it's a physical thing. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like yeah, but there was this like darkness that kept being referenced. Like, I mean, there was literal darkness, like a literal forever night kind of thing as well. So
so that's from, I didn't really pay too much attention, but it sounds like that's her story. That's really interesting. Wow, this dialogue seems really fast and stilted. And why did Jack go from like being super pissed off, having to walk away, cool down? I don't know. Like the whole
walk away while playing music on his phone.
Yes. Oh, it's the music. What the hell was that? I almost wanted to laugh. I was like, what? The tone. And I remember being like, okay, well maybe this isn't the final thing. And then I guess you're like, no, I think it is final. I'm like, wow, this is bad. This is like Kingdom Hearts.
I think
it's one of those. Kingdom Hearts was okay
because it's made by Team Ninja, right?
Team Ninja did do the game, like the fighting. Yeah.
So I guess gameplay wise, it'd probably be good.
Yes, from what I understand, the game, and it looks interesting. It looks like you kind of do have some dark red crystal powers, which I thought were kind of evil. So that could be interesting. It seems to have interesting parts to it, but
Stranger of Paradise. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. That's the name of it.
So I don't know, man. But yeah, that dialogue was cringy as hell. So
I'll probably get it when it's on sale.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure someone's gonna get it here, and I'll be able to experience.
Oh, it's coming out next year, March. I thought it's already out.
Okay, so maybe that's not the final dialogue. I hope it's not, because that was so cringy.
I
so bad.
doubt they're changing dialogue and story now.
I don't know. I mean, what I mean by that is maybe there were more cuts in the dialogue, and like they just they showed us like cuts or something.
So yeah. What have y'all been playing or watching?
I'll go first real quick because mine's quick. I don't think we've been watching much right now.
Did you watch Star Wars Visions?
Yes! Oh my gosh, yes I did. Thank you for reminding me. It was really good, Liz, but we literally binged it in one day. So like my brain is really bad at that's the problem. Like if I've really done something like
I also don't think it was super memorable. I liked it, but I think a lot of the episodes were they didn't feel very Star Wars-y to me. They were kind of just like, this is a story of a thing. Like, that's a nice, generic little fantasy story, I guess, but like only like, I'd say maybe like a third of the episodes were like, oh, this is really good.
There were a few that I liked. I would say what I did like the overall project was the idea that it wasn't pure Star Wars. I liked that they were like, here are some tropes, here are some terms, here's what you mean, go. So
it's definitely a tricky line. I definitely liked a lot of the new flavors and stuff that were in there. I guess what I don't like is an episode that feels like somebody had made it and then like, oh, we have to make it Star Wars? Okay, let's just like put a droid in the background or like replace this sort of the lightsaber and suddenly it's Star Wars.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the episodes can still be good. I mean, it doesn't mean it's a bad episode. It's just if it's labeled Star Wars-y, I kind of want it a little Star Wars-y more sometimes. Fair. But like, so episodes I liked. The first episode's the best one, I think. I really like the first episode.
I do like the first episode. My favorite was actually the lightsaber one. The
lightsaber Smith, like the daughter and the I was gonna say it's my second favorite one, I think.
Yep, I was.
That one has the best story for sure.
Yeah. I also liked how they changed the lore a bit where your lightsaber color changes depending on you. I liked that. Like, I don't want that in canon Star Wars because that would raise too many questions that I really don't want answered. But in that
and
kind
also,
of a story
like the lightsaber strength is like based off of your force strength somehow. I don't know. I didn't really like it. It's cool. It's interesting. don't want more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it as that standalone story. I would not want a canon, that's for sure.
But also, like, it was weird because, like, I like the idea of, like, a revered lightsaber smith, but, like, I think we all know that, like, it's a very sacred ritual for a Jedi to make their own lightsabers. Like, that's a very established thing. You don't just go to the lightsaber guy and say, gimme. Yeah. It's not like a Harry Potter wands.
It's very true, yeah. I also liked the one where it was the Master and Padawan that were facing off, like, a super old Sith.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a good one, too.
That was a really good one.
Can I tell y'all something funny I just saw on Twitter?
What?
Yes.
So I follow this games journalist, that Danielle Partis. But anyway, Tim Sweeney just said Epic Game Store will welcome games that make use of blockchain tech, provided they follow the relevant laws. Okay. Her retweet was like this with a picture that says Tim Sweeney tweeted out previously, not that long ago, September this year actually. We aren't touching NFTs, as the whole field is currently tangled up with an mix of scam, blah, blah, blah. And then right below her tweets is this guy talking about news, how Steam has banned all games that utilizes blockchain tech and NFTs.
Yes!
So it's just like, it's perfect. It's too fucking perfect.
Yeah. I saw the last part of that. I didn't realize the context of it. Yeah. That's funny.
So yeah.
I think, back on Star Wars Visions, I think the craziest episode that I don't know how to feel about, it's like episode 2 or 3, where it's the twins.
Yes, I was going to say that
because
one.
Because I'm like, this is visually, like, this is like the finale of like a Gurren Lagann Kill La Kill kind of episode.
It's made by the same people.
Okay, yeah.
It's made by like, those people, yeah.
It's like, it's the equivalent of episode 8, where you can hyperspace through a Star Destroyer to destroy it. Yeah. I'm like, this is stupid as hell, but goddamn is it cool.
Pretty much. So my wife does not like Gurren Lagann, and she's never tried Kill la Kill. We're trying to get her to do it, but she won't do it. And I never watched Kill la Kill, but I like Gurren Lagann. And so, yeah, when that came on, and I was like, oh, we are at exactly what you described, like the final episode or season of like Gurren Lagann or Kill la Kill. And yeah, definitely was one of those ones where I laughed out loud, because I was like, this is actually kind of funny and ridiculous. Like, someone just took these tropes. Yeah, it just went way over the top. And, like, it wasn't my favorite as, like, an emotional episode, but it was pretty damn funny.
Most of the episode is them in space yelling at each other, and it's never explained how. They're not just dead.
Yes, it is. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it was not my favorite, but I kind of loved it with how ridiculous it was.
Exactly.
Like, what?
She's got like 4 robot arms all wielding lightsabers. She's like a Grievous on top of her regular human arm. She's like 6 arms total. She's like, what's happening?
What's happening here? Did he just stand on top of his ship and split the Star Destroyer? What the hell?
Yeah, with his lightsaber. It doesn't make any sense. It's so good.
Oh my gosh. It makes no sense. So good. Yeah, unsurprisingly, they used a lot of samurai motifs, which makes sense.
Sure.
The original
Jedi
was very inspired by samurai motifs, so that was not surprising to me at all. Which is why, like, the first episode, I think.
I don't even have a problem with people like having a lightsaber in a sheath that when you draw, it's already like glowing. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's stylish, right? I think most interesting, but still. Like, that's a bummer episode. I think it was the final one. I was shocked they ended on it. The one where, like, he's in love with the girl, and then, spoiler alert, basically turns to the dark side.
So love is evil is what
I don't remember that well.
It's one of the last... It's, I think, the last one. So, like, the premise is that this Jedi, who was in love with this woman, and very much it was like he had to leave because it was not proper... He comes to help her because, like, her aunt took over or something. But then, basically, he has an issue where he kind of can get lost in the dark side a little bit, and he accidentally kills her through a trick from the aunt. And then the aunt is like, I can bring her back if you join me. And he does. She does get brought back to life, but he can never be with her because he turned to the dark side. It was very much like an Anakin turn, probably done better. It was a big bummer. I was like, why did they end on this one? It's so sad.
They should have ended... I think the most lighthearted episode is the second one. Just like the band.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun, goofy one.
Yeah,
But it's also a good one as episode 2, just to say, like, here's the range of episodes you're gonna get. Like, episode 1's very much just like a
traditional samurai,
Afro samurai anime, whatever.
Yep.
And episode 2 is like goofy band in Star Wars land. And I kind of like seeing just like something other than like fighting. Like, I just want to see, like, what's it like to be a band and get gigs in Star Wars? Like, it's hard, sure.
Right. It's definitely worth a watch if anybody hasn't yet. It's fun, and I definitely enjoy seeing all the Star Wars fanboys get mad that someone took their Star Wars and did something different. So that's awesome too. So yes,
there was one episode that brought back painfully stupid battle droids that I cannot stand.
They did.
You mean as in from the
it's very brief
prequel?
Roger.
No, but it's like there's like old droids that they reprogrammed. They're just still kind of around, like on this outward.
Oh, but they do bring back the prequel droids. It's the Roger droids.
Yes, it is. Sorry, but it's not during prequel times. So
right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like the B1 droids. Yeah, Roger.
Yep,
Like they just say stupid things. I don't want. They're programmed stupid, and I don't like it.
Your extremely big hatred for it is so funny to me. They make no sense.
I don't need pure immersion, but they de-immerse me so hard.
They don't make any sense. But yes, I did watch that. I am trying to play Life is Strange Before the Storm, the prequel to the first Life is Strange, because I know a character from that is in True Colors. I've been told that if I don't play True Colors, then it's terrible, because I guess the main character is basically me, so...
Wait, what?
I guess I need to play...
True Colors?
True
That's
Colors.
a new one, right?
Life is Strange. Yeah, that's a new one.
Okay.
Yep. I'm told that the main character is like me, so I'm told that I need to play it. So I will, but I'm trying to finish Before the Storm, which I know is going to be a huge bummer. But I'm only trying to play because
she's like an empath or something, right? That's her power? Something like that.
Empath, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she sees auras. She sees colored auras, which is how they always do empath powers. But yeah, and so I'm trying to do Before the Storm because one of the characters in True Colors is also in Before the Storm. So
Oh man, I didn't like Before the Storm. I couldn't go...
Well, Steph is in it. Do you remember Steph?
As in, I couldn't get past the first chapter.
Oh, well, you meet Steph. She's playing D&D.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't think it matters. Like, I'm only doing it because I want to. I don't, like, I think it's more of an Easter egg thing. Because she has a whole new characterization.
Like, in Life is Strange 2, there were a few callbacks to one of the characters you meet and, like, a couple other things.
Yeah. But yeah, no, True Colors, I think, is just, there's a character named Steph that you meet in the Before the Storm. I've only played episode 1. I haven't tried the other ones. But, you meet her in episode 1, and she has you play D&D, and the only thing I've known about her so far is she's super nerdy and lesbian. That's it. So, I think that's all that really matters going into True Colors. So, but yeah, I'll have to play it eventually.
I'll eventually play it.
Yeah. I will too. I have not picked up Ace Attorney yet, so we'll try that again another time.
Yeah, I'm stuck on like case number 4 of the first game. Stuck as in I haven't gone past that yet. I haven't just...
I just haven't picked up since case 2. I still need to get there in case 2. Anyway, someday I will. But yeah, I think that's... And then 14. I've been playing 14. I've been leveling up a new class. I've been doing Ninja, and I actually enjoy it way more than any other class I've played. So that's been fun. But that's really it.
Oh. Sorry, this is relevant as... a Terry Pratchett quote, "Satire is meant to ridicule power. If you are laughing at people who are hurting, it's not satire, it's bullying."
Yep.
I don't read his books, but I've been with people who love his books, and he sounds like a really smart person.
He does, yeah.
I think so.
And like a good person, too.
Yeah. No, that's what I've heard, too, is he's a good person. He was kind of ahead of his time on some social issues, and
because TERFs are trying to get him on his side, on their side.
And
he's dead. He's dead.
He's dead. His daughter has come out and been like, "Shut up, TERFs." Yeah. She's been defending him a lot, which thank God, because no. And I don't even know what TERFs are using in his book to defend anything, because he was pretty
I've not even heard of this. That's crazy.
I don't even know what they're saying. Like, I've only seen the pushback. I haven't heard what the TERFs have said.
And they've already got J.K. Rowling. What else do they want?
There is a pretty good episode. There's a pretty good book of his called Monstrous Regiment about a female character who joins the army by posing as a male. I don't know what's in there. It's a Discworld book.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, because I thought they said an example of a trans character, but I don't know if it was that. But at the same time, he's also just in general spoken out in support, like, in his things he's said. I don't know if he's had a legit character, I will say. I've never read his books, but I know a lot of
I can't think of one immediately at the top of my head.
One of the big things he's also apparently, like, was kind of ahead of his time in fiction writing was he did have a few books that spoke out against, like, police states and things like that. Like, some of his things that he was talking about with police definitely apply to the United States.
It's interesting because you're right, but, like, one of the main characters, like, so, like, there's Discworld's the universe, and then there's kind of, like, different parallel threads in that of, like, books that occur in a temporal order and have the same main character.
Yeah,
and one of the bigger recurring characters is Captain Samuel Vimes of the City Watch. And I really like him, but he doesn't really follow due process. But it's okay because he's right, but he's still like
yeah, for sure.
All cops shouldn't behave this way because they're not right most of the time.
Got it, yeah. It's got a little bit of that vigilante cop thing that US cops seem to like to worship. That's interesting. I've heard... Anyway, I never read them, so I don't know, but just some interesting things. But yes, that's the thing that TERFs are doing, which I don't know
I'll have to look that up. That sucks.
Yeah, it's awful. Like I said, his daughter has pretty much been shutting it down, so at least there's that. What else have you been doing?
Me? Yeah.
Me. What I had a thing prepared. Oh, I watched the new Muppet special, The Haunted Mansion. It's not particularly noteworthy. I was just happy there's a new Muppet thing, but it's kind of bland. It's like 47 minutes long, I think. It's just kind of like a quick short thing. I don't know. I think the problem is like most Muppet movies can kind of be classified into two categories. Either like you were seeing the Muppets put on a show, or you're just watching the Muppets. Like, is it like a behind-the-scenes version or a not behind-the-scenes version? Like, Muppet Treasure Island is just Treasure Island with Muppets in it, but, like, the two most recent Muppet movies are just, like, the Muppets in the real world, and they're trying to get the gang together so they can put on a show. It's a little more behind-the-scenes-y kind of thing. And this one is a weird... Like, it's not, like, it's kind of both, and I think it's fine, but I think it would have been better if I had picked one. Because it's not just like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, the Muppets are going through the ride of Haunted Mansion. And sometimes it's like, what if the Haunted Mansion was being created by Muppets? I think it's like sometimes you get like the actual, like the hitchhiking ghosts, or just the hitchhiking ghosts from the ride. But then like the head in the globe is Ms. Piggy. It's like, well, which is it? Like, it's a little confusing. Like, it should have just picked one, I think, but it was okay. Pretty much it. I've been watching all the same shows as before, like What We Do in the Shadows, The Goes Wrong Show, Taskmaster, Star Wars Lower Decks. There's a lot of shows right now that I'm actually watching. I thought there was one big thing I watched, though, but I can't remember what it was. That's pretty much it. I've been playing New World.
Which is a weird game.
It's a weird game.
It's a very weird game.
It's a lot. It's
Is it good?
I wouldn't say it's good.
I would not say it's good.
Okay.
I like it more than Final Fantasy. Just because
14, you mean, right?
Like, yeah.
Okay.
If he was playing 11, I'd be like, whoa,
because the problem I have with both games, like the biggest problem I have with both Final Fantasy and New World is the same biggest problem of there's too much running back and forth. Even though Final Fantasy has pretty easy to do fast travel, there's still a lot of quests that are just like, get across the map and talk to this person. Maybe you'll have to kill a couple things. Maybe you won't.
That's fair.
And then New World's like, yes, run over here and kill 3 wolves. And you're like, it's going to literally take me 3 times as much time running as it is going to kill the wolves. And so like, there's just too much travel.
That's too bad. I don't know why I didn't just learn, because 14's missions get a little better, and insofar as it's more of you're going from point A to point B to continue the story, but there are some more missions attached and stuff like that way later on. And the story also, like, the actual cutscenes are way better.
The story, I mean, 14 has a story that is cool. It's a lot of reading, but New World's I can't be bothered to care about the story. There's not much there to really know anyway.
That's too bad they didn't just learn to make the I mean, to me, my favorite missions, I haven't picked it back up, but I thought ESO did missions way more fun than anybody combined, personally. But that's because they kind of made it Skyrim-esque. So I thought that was way better, but...
Is it better
the Old
in terms
Republic
of design or
had
writing?
good missions.
Say it again, Char?
Is it better in terms of design or the writing?
I don't know about the writing. I mean, it's more. I think the interactions, because you're kind of speaking the characters like in an ESO game, and so if you like that kind of thing, it's very similar, and so it's fun. But my limited time playing, the missions are just a little more interactive. Like, you need to stealth through here. You need to go over here and kill this thing, and it's a bit more first person. Or you have two choices. Go investigate and see which path you want to take. They have a little bit of, like, kind of diverging paths to the same goal kind of thing. Yeah, the only thing I hated about ESO, and the real reason I dropped it, was because I had no sense of what to do next. I was like, what's the main mission?
So it's too Skyrim.
It's very, I'm like, okay, there's some mission paths, but do I leave? Do I stay? Like... That part I did not understand. Apparently they did make it more complicated. Like, they used to have a main mission line, and then they didn't. While Final Fantasy XIV, there's a big hunkin' symbol of where the main mission is, and then there's a bunch of side quests, so it was way easier to understand what to do. But ESO was more fun to play, but 14 had a bit more, okay, I know what I'm doing. The aesthetics were more pleasing to me. Like, I wanted to dress up. And that's really it. Otherwise, I would have kept going with ESO. Also, I had friends that were playing 14 and nobody was playing ESO. So, but yeah, it's too bad about New World though.
I mean, the biggest thing that I think makes New World slightly unique is the combat is more like Monster Hunter than a traditional MMO. Like, you don't have an action bar so much. Like, you can get up to 3 moves, but for the most part, like, you're left clicking to attack and like hitting shifts to dodge and just trying to time.
It
actually
blocking.
feels more like a fighting-ish kind of game. Which
nice.
Is
I
nice.
like that.
Very actiony.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's fun.
Yeah. I like that a lot, actually.
And you actually have to do the dodging and the blocking. So
Yeah, you can't just ignore it.
You can't just,
I like that. I do like that. Other reason
and
why
it's,
I
you know, it's a $40 MMO without a subscription.
$40,
so
no monthly fee, yeah.
That's nice. That will change eventually, but yes, that's nice.
It's probably not something you're gonna play
surprise me.
forever, so it's more like, you know, it's on sale for $30 now. I'll play it and I'll have 30 hours of fun.
Yeah.
It's not a worst thing.
it kind of it's fun, but it reminds me a lot of like vanilla World of Warcraft, where it just doesn't respect your time. Like, things just take a long time to do. It's a lot of grinding, which is kind of what I want right now. But it also is why I wouldn't say it's good, because it's just like we're making work, we're making pointless busy work.
Yeah, that's fair. That may be my thing right now, but I get it. Like, I get it for sure. So.
Yeah, I'm just lucky that I'm in the mood for it now. Otherwise, I'd hate this game probably.
I hear you.
But yeah, that's it. That's it for me.
Not that much new stuff, really. When I saw this, I'm like, what the fuck? Gearbox Randy Pitchford steps down as the president, whatever CEO, but not as in step down. He's just he's gonna be the CEO boss of the movie division now.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. But he's still the boss of Gearbox overall, so there's somebody else now, but you know, that's just other than that, did you hear about Twitch, the entire code being leaked
of course.
Of the Twitch website?
Yeah, change your passwords, people.
And
change your Amazon password.
They did something crazy with their password protection thing. I actually still don't even remember my password, because like the normal things that I would do to make a whatever password, they don't accept. Sometimes, like, if you put too many characters, they don't accept the password. So I don't know what parameters they've made to make a new password, but they're stupid, and I don't remember my password. I feel like I've just been, like, literally trying to do letter, symbol, number, just to get some kind of a semblance of memory. But
I hear like the best thing to do is like combine weird words together.
That's what I normally do. But they don't even, like, if you have too many letters in a row, it won't accept it.
Oh, okay.
So, like, because I tried to do kind of...
Yeah. The problem is changing from one to another. Like, it's easy to remember your 4 words, but then if you change it, do you remember 4 new words? Can you just add, like, a number on the end? Like, that's the hard part, is updating
and they're not, like, friendly about it. So, like, because I have, like, a couple password kind of combinations that, you know, it basically, it kind of takes weird words and then turns some of the letters to symbols or numbers.
Right.
I guess. So I try to do stuff like that, because usually it's decent enough. But the way they do it, like, I remember, basically, without spoiling, this password is not the password anymore. I'm not going to give you the password, but, like, I forgot it. I forgot how I did it, so I had to redo it. But essentially, it was, like, kind of a word, but I couldn't actually complete spelling the word, because if I did, it would suddenly say that the password was too weak.
That's
funny.
And
if I, like, deleted a letter, it said it was strong. And I was like, what the hell? Now I'm never going to remember this. So I had to do it again, and now I still don't remember it.
There are certain services that I literally have to reset my password every time because I forget that they require, like, some weird specific kind of, like, narrow range of punctuation or something. It's like, oh, I'd throw a comma in here or whatever.
It makes me so mad. I know there's certain programs that apparently you can do for this, but, like, I know
a key store kind of thing.
Yeah, but, like, I don't even know whether I can trust those. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is the worst. Honestly, the idea of you have to change it every time is probably one of the best defenses you can do.
I mean, changing your password on a leak is definitely something you should do. Changing your passwords regularly, studies have shown that it, like, if it's like a company policy, it's actually kind of a bad thing because it leads to, like, people using less secure passwords. Like, if you memorize like an 8-word password once, that password's tight. But if you're doing only the 4-word password that you change every 6 months, that's overall weaker.
That's interesting, but that does make sense. Because it's true, like, I know, I've been trying to do different combinations with work and doing the best I can with it, but I know some coworkers, and I only know it because I watch their keyboard, that basically what they've done is they have their traditional password they start off with, and then basically just keep adding ones to it at the end. And I know it because I see them. Like, oh, I gotta do my password. They type a gibberish, and then I just see them put 1, 1, 1, 1. Like, I don't see it, but I see them press it on the key, and I'm like, oh no.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know. Password protection. Any other news, or should we just end on good password protection?
I thought I had one, and I forgot what
just
it
a
is.
couple more, like, things.
Oh, wait. No.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll remember it.
Okay. So you know how the games industry has a problem with crediting developers properly?
Oh, yeah.
I heard this story, I think.
Yeah, especially for if you leave in the middle of development, you don't get credited.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like Metroid Dread by Mercury's Steam is the latest one to be criticized for this. So yeah.
Bad. Awful. Not good. Not good.
And the last thing, let's end on not really a high note, but not a sad note, I guess. They announced the pricing for the new Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack.
Oh.
Yep. Did you all know that's gonna be an expansion pack for the online service?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't
they announced this expansion pack, I think the last Direct, I believe. And they just announced the pricing in this Animal Crossing Direct. But basically, the expansion pack will come with Nintendo 64 games.
Okay.
It's $50 for 12 months.
$50 how often? Is that once a year or once a month?
$50.
Oh, I disconnected. Whoa. Sorry.
Yeah, we just went crazy with the internet. $50 for 12 months for an individual plan, and $80 for a family plan. To put this into perspective, the current Switch Online is $20 for individual plan and $35 for family plan. So the N64 thing is pretty much an increase of more than double.
And repeat what you get from it. You get access to some games.
So currently, Nintendo Switch Online, when you subscribe to it, the $20 or $35 for the family one, $20 for individual, is you get online play because you gotta pay to play on it. That's why I play a lot of games on Steam, and you get that. So it went with the like PlayStation style. I'm not sure if Xbox does this because now PlayStation, Xbox started the whole fucking thing with Xbox Live, right? And then PlayStation has PlayStation. Shit, what's it called? PlayStation Plus. So both are like, you gotta get if you want to play online. But these are only for paid games. So if it's a free game like Warframe, you don't have to pay to play online. Does that make sense?
With this new bundle.
No.
No, normally.
Basically, every company is doing this. Xbox. Okay. I'm not sure if Xbox Live does this, but PlayStation and Nintendo Switch does this. Nintendo Switch Online and the PlayStation Plus. You don't have to pay the internet thing if you're playing a free game, but you have to pay for it if you're playing a paid game. So Nintendo Switch Online right now, what you get is NES and SNES games, which gets added to it like I think every month or something, and playing online. And this expansion pack is N64 games.
Because N64 games are more. I don't know. That pricing seems.
That's a lot. Those are pretty expensive N64 games.
Yeah.
If they doubled the price, I'd still be kind of like, oh, okay. But it's more than double.
It's more than double.
It's kind of weird.
It's 150%.
Yeah.
It's
weird.
Yeah, double and a half. It's just insane.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Well.
Man, I hate this. Fuck you, Microsoft, for doing this. A lot of people is like, you're not entitled. Fuck you. They're like multi-billion-dollar companies, you stupid fuck. You don't need to defend them.
I know.
They have very expensive lawyers to defend them, okay? So.
Yeah, I know. Especially Microsoft. You don't
Yeah.
defend Microsoft. They're fine.
So yeah, I guess it is on a down note, I suppose, on a not very high note. Yeesh.
Oh.
So yeah, that's it. I don't have anything more.
I don't either.
Y'all want to wrap up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see me at Sarahscopic, Sarahscopic. I do another monthly podcast, RNG&T, and depending when this is out, we'll be streaming RNG&T, TEA, in 2 Fridays. Was it the 30th? Something like that. So, see us then.
And I'm Foehamner. You can find me on YouTube.
And I'm Pupunoob, Pew Pew, and we'll be you know where. This has been episode 188 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching this. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.